French Holocaust survivors at the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. These men and women who saw such terrible anti-Semitism as children must now, at the end of their lives, face a time when a lot of Europeans want to kill Jews again. France's Jews have felt like a target for a long time, and the killings here at the kosher supermarket have only confirmed their worst fears, and it will cause more of them to leave. Some have called the Charlie Hebdo and kosher supermarket killings France's 9/11. But America clearly changed after 9/11. It's not at all clear if France has changed. Yes, there have been arrests and more police and soldiers deployed. But political correctness is still so deeply rooted in France that speaking out too strongly against Muslim immigration and being labeled a racist can end a career. French commentator Eric Zemmour was fired last month for saying that Muslims should be deported to avoid chaos and civil war. Zemmour has written The French Suicide, about how France is being destroyed. We had hoped to interview Zemmour, but his publicist told us he was in hiding because of death threats. A protest march by this anti-Islamization group a week after the killings was banned by police. Even popular far-right leader Marine Le Pen has been tiptoeing around the subject of Islam. She's reportedly feuding with her foreign policy advisor, Emmerich Schoprada, who gave an exclusive interview to CBN News. Schoprada angered Le Pen by saying France is at war with some Muslims and in danger from what he called a fifth column of 1 million radical Muslims in France.
But the problem, which is maybe worse than this terrorist network, is the sympathy from a large part of the Muslim population in France towards the jihad and towards the radical ideas. I do not say that all the Muslims are violent, but I say that violence is rooted in Islam holy texts.
The world saw millions of Frenchmen pour into the streets to say, "I am Charlie." It was a touching outpouring of support for free speech in the face of Muslim terror. But conservatives in France saw something else: hypocrisy. The same French leaders marching for free speech who have not allowed free speech critical of Islam, except for a few Charlie Hebdo cartoons. The same French leaders whose policies have allowed Muslim extremism to flourish in France.
We don't have the freedom to say that the ones who are demonstrating are the ones responsible for what happened.
French author, journalist, and publisher Jean Robin says flatly the government brought on the attacks by being harder on critics of Islam than on Muslims.
The people who are responsible for these attacks are the ones showing off now and demonstrating for freedom of speech, which they crushed year after year.
In fact, when I asked French writer Renaud Camus about the French government's commitment to free speech, he laughed.
The government defend free speech? No, the aim of the government in the last 40 years has been to impeach free speech to express itself on the main subject, which is the change of population, which is totally banned from the media, which is what you are not allowed to say.
Camus has been banned from French media because of his outspoken views on the risk from Islam. And the French government's unwillingness or inability to effectively deal with the problem of Muslim immigration and radicalism could help ensure that there are more attacks like the one on Charlie Hebdo and the kosher supermarket. The words on the lips of those we interview were civil war.
I see civil war, and I'm not a prophet, you know. It's obvious, it's Lebanon.
Civil war, I mean civil war, that's clear.
Civil war, as terrible as it would be, civil war is a wrong expression, there would be nothing civil about it.
After what should have been a clear wake-up call for France, it's not at all clear that France will do what it takes to prevent the next attack.
We have to fight very firmly, very strictly against the Islamization of the French society. There is an Islamization process, and we have to stop it clearly.
The #1 best-selling book in France now is Submission, set in the future when France has a Muslim president and French women begin wearing veils. It was released, coincidentally, on the day of the Charlie Hebdo massacre. There is now a genuine fear and loathing in France that there will be more and more attacks like this because there are simply too many Muslim jihadists in the country to stop it. Hurd, CBN News, Paris.